literally like about midnight, I was dancing with David Lynch and Naomi Watts, and we're all doing some weird dance, holding arms together and dancing. And the festival was going so well up to that point, you know.
I'll never forget where I was at that moment. Michelle and I weren't actually together.
As I went down through each hotel, I told people to start preparing.
There started to be a buzz about a terrible accident.
People standing around looking sort of in shock.
We just kind of watched in horrified silence.
The thing that you could tell in the room that was the most difficult to come to terms with was that the world would never be the same.
It was a very emotional, devastating experience. Just you were in it, you were part of it, even if you weren't there at that moment.
Americans who were at the Toronto Film Festival may have felt lucky that they were out of the country at this moment. On the other hand, guilty for being lucky enough not to have been there at the time.
After 9/11 at the festival, people talked to each other in a very human way. It was no longer about the business.
They would just gather together and talk and be together because they had that shared New York experience.
All the hotel bars were just filled with filmmakers and movie stars trying to figure out how they were going to get home.
The rest of the world wasn't necessarily affected on a visceral level like the Americans were.
That night, we had organized a dinner, and the whole world was there in terms of cinema, and people just wanted to be together.
It was as if you were falling backwards and you were going to hit the ground, but somebody caught you. And that was the feeling I got in Toronto and at the festival.
When the news and chaos broke out, people were definitely looking to the film festival for guidance.
That was the first time we went in front of the media that day.
We'd had like the toughest day, I guess, of my professional career. You felt completely drained, absolutely drained.
What does the festival do about this? Do we cancel the entire festival?
I certainly didn't want to see any movies.
The decision was, which I think was the right one, was we go on with the films.
They canceled all of the parties. Anything remotely could be related to frivolity.
I formed a couple of relationships at that festival that have been really, really important to me. I don't know what I would have done with myself, honestly, if the festival stopped on that day.
Yeah, I'll never forget the day after, because we had canceled all the screenings on the 11th, and then on the 12th we said we were going to restart again.
So it was something both defiant and affirming that they wouldn't let an event like this stop an important cultural event that's about human expression and the human spirit.
We could go into this temple of cinema, into this dark room, and kind of have our shared and private moments.
People took solace in the dark and in each other's company.
The one thing about film is that it also can be restorative, so I think it had a very positive psychological effect to carry on.
The first screening was of Mira's film, Monsoon Wedding.
The struggle of making cinema, you wonder if you can touch a person or two. Art and life must prevail.
And it was the most amazing experience. It was an incredible experience because the place was packed. The place was packed. Everyone was there. We had a minute of silence, and then the festival just started up again.
It was a one-of-a-kind film festival, unlike anything we'd ever had before or will ever have again, I hope.